Hello everybody, my name is Troublemaker and this is Wargame Red Dragon. We're looking at the decks, and specifically I will be looking at Norway right now. This nice red-blue. For a year I've actually called them Argentina. Yeah, that actually happened. So this is our command infantry for the Norwegians, and we have the KO, which, you know, could be a real name, I'm not sure. A lot of these infantry have names that aren't possibly the real ones yet. I don't know. There's no such thing as a command infantry in the first place. So, you know, they're all hypothetical anyway. It's just a gameplay concept. So there will be 4 ways to deploy these, including armored vehicles, more armored vehicles, and our UH-18. And this is going to be a super common way to deploy them. You bring them to a very exposed area, drop your infantry down, land them, get them into a forest, climb a mountain if you can, and then sit them there and camp there and be obnoxious. The enemy will not be able to cap that point as long as your infantry is not found. And one good thing with these guys is they have high stealth, and stealth will be a very, very important statistic for these infantry commands. Moving forward, we have our Rover KPV, which is more standardized, our 120 point, slightly more armored KPV, and our Abrams, sorry not Abrams, our M48A5 Vogum, which I'm pretty sure is damn new. It's a command tank I've just never ever seen in my life. It has to be brand new. We also have our logistics vehicle, the Log K, which is Logistics K. I don't know what the K stands for. It's not particularly great. It's a you know, a medium range type vehicle. I wouldn't recommend it. Moving on, we have our fjords, which have this new Irix rocket, which is added to the game. And so any squad with Irix is obviously new. These guys have 2 ways of deploying. The other way is by helicopter. You'll note that they have the saw and they have a rifle. So this is going to be a pretty potent anti-tank squad. Not as powerful as others, but we'll be able to tango with them pretty good. Now, with the Norwegians, we have our Geveirmen, which have, you know, 4 ways of getting in. This is your big, giant unit grouping. They're reservists, basically, and they're not the best, but they will soak a lot of damage, for sure. And you get a high amount of them compared to most infantry, so their pure numbers will spread across the map very well. So you have a new unit, the LHV, which appears to be some sort of anti-tank weapon with the law. It has these Krag Jorgensens, which are, you know, it's a pretty damn old rifle. So will we get to see these? I don't know. They're 5 points. It's really hard to say. I imagine they'll be very popular in economy modes. We also have our RBS-70, which is, you know, an anti-tank weapon. Has 2 ways of getting in play. Another vehicle with slightly more armor. And these are going to be at a range, so I don't see this vehicle here, the NM113, actually ever carrying these. The money's on the Sisu. But anyway, we have our Stormers, which are pretty damn interesting. 4 variants of them with different vehicles, and they are a pretty decent infantry squad with a Carl Gustav line to take out lots of tanks. Moving on to our support tab, we have our not too many. The Scandinavians are weak here, but when you combine them into Scandinavia, they're very potent, actually. First off, we have our mortar. It has a single Browning rifle on it, and, you know, as you can see, it's pretty plain. It's a 25 point unit. This is our NM106, also another mortar type. Once again, it has the Browning, slightly more armor, and look, here's our mortar. In case you're wondering where the mortars are put, they plop open here, and then they fire, and, you know, he actually has to spin around this way to fire, which is really interesting. You have to back up the fire. Interesting vehicle designs. Now we have our NM109, which is a pure artillery unit. It has a single gun on the edge here. I feel like there should be someone standing on here gunning, though. But it's fairly armored compared to the mortars and much higher range, 18,200. It's designed to, you know, try and pick off commands, basically, and supply trucks and vehicles. Not too crazy damage. This is our Saklos. It's the NM195. It's got a single Saklos launcher here, which is the RBS-70, and it's very damn camouflage. It'll be very hard to spot. And nice little numbers here, 321150. Oh my god, 3? Isn't Half-Life 3? Half-Life 3 confirmed. Speaking of which, we have our IHawk for the Norwegians, and every single nation for the Scandinavian Corps will in fact have an IHawk launcher. This one's called the Noah. I've actually gotten to Noah it. Get it? Noah. It's actually not too bad. Of course, this was available in airland battle. Moving on to more airland battle units, we have the Leopard 1NO, we have the Leopard 1AI-NO, the M48A1, and the M48A5, which, you know, not bad. It's just stuff we're used to, nothing really new there. This is a new unit, the Passer Bill. I'm pretty sure that's new, or just underused in airland battle. I don't know. It doesn't look too useful. Marine Jaegers, you know, just a pure recon squad. There's a couple of nations that actually have Marine Jaegers. This is going to be the Norwegian variant. 2 ways of deploying, really great stealth, exceptional stealth actually, and very good optics. So these are going to be a very popular choice for a recon unit for our Scandinavian Core players. And here's a nice little recon vehicle that actually has an anti-infantry component to it. I don't know if we'll see that get used. And here's another recon squad. Now this one's a little bit different because it's probably going to get used more often for sacking commands. These optical or larynx are brand new, and they're supposed to be, I guess, like your Norwegian, you know, spec ops types, and that's what they're going to use, spec ops operation. Here's a Rover Rkv, oh, like an RV. Huh, okay, and you know, it's a 30-point vehicle. It has no gun on it. A lot of people like these. Almost every nation's going to have something like this, or either they'll add one gun on it. I prefer this one to the one with one gun, but it's a personal choice. So moving on, we have our vehicles. Not too much a Recon M24. This is going to be an MP1, carries infantry carrier. Ooh, nice little anti-tank with some armor. Look at the size of that launcher on that bad boy. It's the entire length of the whole thing. Doesn't look that powerful though. This one looks a lot more powerful with TOW-2 rockets, and of course another one TOW-2 rockets. Scandinavia has very expensive AT. We haven't seen too many cheap AT options, so I mean if you're using AT as Scandinavia, you're paying the pretty penny. This is purely an anti-infantry vehicle. You load your infantry in it, they pop out this side, and then they help fight the good fight. This one has two guns, the autocannon and the MMG, so it's going to be super effective at those kind of battles. The C2 X8180, sorry, is also kind of the same thing. It has a Browning, but doesn't have that second gun, so it won't be as powerful as the NM135 in terms of taking towns and areas. Our helicopter option here is the UH-1B, which, you know, has a single MG gun here, good for anti-infantry options. Not too much here, but keep in mind Sweden and Denmark both have an AT option. None of them have an AA helicopter, which is going to make the Scandinavian Corps a little bit weak in the air. Specifically because they have really low AA. Now, for air options, we just have kind of standard stuff. Our Starfighters, our Fighting Falcons, and our Freedom Fighter, which are kind of something that all the Scandinavian nations kind of share. Same sort of stuff. They're all very good. Specifically, the Fighting Falcon and the Freedom Fighter are very good right now. The Starfighter, not so much. They don't have as much for air superiority, though, and they'll be using a lot of bombers, basically, for air superiority, which isn't very good. Now, moving into the Marine category, once again, no ships here. Scandinavia will not have ships. Why would Scandinavia deploy in China in the first place? It doesn't make sense. They weren't preparing for that war, so it's not in the game. What they do add to the picture is going to be the F-16A Block 15, which will be deployed from an aircraft carrier, and will in fact have the Penguin anti-tank launchers, as well as a few, or sorry, not anti-tank, it's anti-tank. My bad. And it's also radar. Which means it'll be able to take out enemy ships with this thing pretty well as, you know, deal with other elements in the sky. So this will be as close to an air superiority vehicle that the Scandinavian Corps will get. It's going to be the F-16A Block 15. As for other units, they're once again just a fat in the deck. You get 6 free units from the Marine section. So if you want to not grab certain units and other ones that might be available here, that's up to you. Scandinavia is pretty lackluster, I'm not going to lie. It's definitely going to be a niche play, and as people figure out this game, they'll figure out what exactly they're used for. Until next time, my name is Troublemaker. Stay tuned for more Wargame Red Dragon.